Start the recording. Off you go, Kavita.
Thank you, Nick. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Lovely to see you out there. Just to let you know, our meeting at Digital Communicators has now begun. Very welcome, guests. Please note that in order to be a member of this club, you must be a former member or an active member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least the Competent Communicator Manual or levels 1 and 2 of the Pathway Programme, or have substantive, relevant presentation experience that you can demonstrate in a 3 to 5 minute speech at one of our club meetings. All requests to membership are subject to club approval. Members and guests, if you have not already done so, please change your name panel so it shows your name and role. So all you have to do is right-click and rename yourself. We have members and guests from all over the world. As a professional organisation, we ask you, please be aware of language or word usage that may be otherwise considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to our cultural differences. Please note we are recording this meeting. Your video and audio contribution may be used in our club marketing purposes. Also, keep your microphones muted when you are speaking. Today's theme is Let's Get Interactive. Please welcome our club president, DTM, Nick Lacani.
Thank you very much, Kavita. Welcome to Digital Communicators meeting on the 24th of May. And we have, following last time's congratulations, we have another congratulations to one of our members, Pat Caslin, made it to second place in the District 71. Let's spotlight Pat. Made it to second place of the International Speech Contest in District 71. And it's not me who said it, but everybody else said you were robbed, Pat. So congratulations, but you were, I'm sure, that close.
Thank you, Nick. It was a great contest, lots of great speakers, and I really enjoyed it. Learned an enormous amount from it, and it was a wonderful experience. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone for your support. You don't do these things on your own.
Well, thank you, Pat. Pat went on his journey. We all went with him. And one of the keys about this is that we are stronger together. Last time we actually honored Andrew Bennett and Julian Saraceda as well. Watch the video. Now, let's get on with today's meeting. I hope you all had a wonderful D71 conference. I recognize some of you from there. And we also have a special guest who actually came along today, just turned up, Dec Klusky. Dec, would you care to just say a very quick hello? I know you can't stay long.
Unmuted. That's good. Yeah. I thought the D71 was something else. I'm a technology freak. I have to be in the music industry, and I have to know how to do everything, videos and Zoom and all sorts. But the technology used was superb, and it was really to my liking. It was clever. It was seamless. It was just as you advertise, it's like a TV show. I like it like that. And now there you are. You're showing off your technology, spotlighting me. As a double spotlight. I love that.
I got to tell you, Dec, I haven't warned Dec, but I'm going to put him on the spot. Now, those of you don't know.
Don't ask me to sing. Don't ask me to sing. I never sing in public.
No, don't worry. We don't have time for that. You can Google him, because he is one of the one of the founders of the Bachelors. Okay, so Google him.
You've got to be a Dubliner to know what that is. Hello, Dec.
Now, I got to tell you, he is not only a Toastmaster in District 71 and 91, he's also a member of clubs in Worthing and Battle and in Cork, and a future digital communicator, by the way.
Hope so, yeah.
Well, we'll see whether we can accept you yet. But I've got one question for you. We have high standards here, my friend. I have one question for you, Dec. So, why did you get into the music industry all that time ago? Was it the women? Was it the substances? Or was it just the music?
Well, the women came in naturally, that's for sure. The substances, no, allergic to it, actually. I'm one of the Valium addicts from the 60s. 12 years I had of that, so no thank you very much. And that was through a stupid Irish doctor, by the way, in Shepherd's Bush. I had to get out of a concert in the UK to go over and do the Ed Sullivan Show in the States, which is 64 million people. So, of course, and I was the volunteer to go to the doctor, and he said, "Oh, Dick, have you got apprehension?" I'd never heard of that. No. Have you got anxiety? No, I've never heard of that. Panic attacks? Never heard of. I'd never heard of any of this stuff. He said, "Well, I'm going to give you Valium." I said, "Oh, that's marvelous. All my pals are on Valium. They're Valium sandwiches. They think it's wonderful." So he gave me some Valium, and stupidly I took it, and I was one of the 30% of people that took Valium that were immediately addicted. It actually caused the problems it was supposed to alleviate, and I had 12 years of horror, and that wasn't very, very funny. So as regards to drugs, but the women, oh yes, I could close this club down. My stories about the women.
Well, listen, we run an after party, as you know. I'm a specialist in that, so we can get away with anything afterwards. Make sure I know you have to leave early, but make sure you come back again next week, whenever you can. Yeah. And we'd love to see you back. Thank you very much, Dick.
I will join, Nick. In fact, if you can just set that in motion now, will you please?
Yeah, well, we're going to send you a link, and you can pay your money before you leave, okay?
I love that.
It's just like Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like.
Get your wallet out now.
Take care. Thank you.
If I slip away, by the way, don't think I'm being rude. I'll just slip away. I have to go about 10 to 7.
No problem, Dick. We're happy for you to join us. Now, getting on with our meeting today, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our Toastmaster of the day. Please give a warm hand for Toastmaster Colette Ainscough.
Thank you, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, very welcome guests, and our area director, Gerda Parker. Well, I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed your experience thus far in our breakout lounges. You were hosted by Philip from Curacao. Philip hopes this meeting will foster friendships. He likes to travel and he enjoys the movies. Another host was Pamela from the USA. Pamela is super fit and trains rigorously for triathlons and half marathon races. Give me a wave to show me you enjoyed our meet and greet. I have said it to him, it's let's get interactive, and we are already doing that. And we have done it too. You can see from behind how much you have interacted with me so far this week about what you want from this meeting. You want it to be energetic, laughter, fun, to be enriched, to feel unity, foster friendships, and improve. So let's get interactive right from the start. You can post as little as one word in the chat box. I encourage you to do that, in between speakers, of course. During the meeting, after the speeches, we will have time for evaluations. Julian is going to post a link in the chat box. Please fill out this link. We know how important feedback is for our speakers, and you can do it with up to 500 words. And finally, let's interact even more. Throughout the meeting, I'm going to pose questions on the chat box that will require a one-word answer. Please interact back. Now, let's move on. Time is of the essence. We have key presenters who carry out roles for the meeting and never underestimate their importance. The first of which is our timer, Pam. I have great news about Pam. She secured a job this week and believes that her digital skills she learned in this very club helped her get that position. She is working tirelessly at the moment as a breakout lead for the VitCom conference coming up in June. Please welcome our timer, Pam Rowley.
Thank you, Colette. So my job tonight is to assist with keeping the meeting running on time. The prepared speeches are all 5 to 7 minute speeches. So at 5 minutes, you will see the green background. At 6 minutes, you will see the yellow background. And at 7 minutes, you will see the red background. Once on red, you will only have 30 seconds to complete your speech. And for the table topics, on the table topics, you will see the green background at 1 minute, the yellow background at 1.5, and the red at 2. Thank you, and back to you, Colette.
Thank you, Pam. Our next key presenter is our grammarian. Now, our grammarian is Andrew Bevich. And Andrew, to me, is like a Toastmaster machine. I mean, he's a member of many clubs. He's the District 91 Table Topics finalist. He travels the world via Toastmasters and gives workshops on, amongst other things, how to maximize your impact as a speaker. Please welcome our grammarian, Andrew Bennett.
Join me this evening on the Sea of Words. Digital communicators and our very welcome guests out there in the whole wide world, because we're live streaming this. Tonight, we're going to aim at thrilling word choices. We're going to find alternative word choices that will open up our voices and our range and our vocal variety by their excitement. So the word of the day is going to be synonym. Synonym meaning a word that means the same as another, but we are going for exciting synonyms this evening. Instead of just plain interesting, why not enthralling, engaging, enrapturing? Really, really lively use of words. And instead of simply commending, why not express approbation, offer encouragement, and even, if necessary, acclamation. Let's choose some exciting words that are going to open up our vocal variety this evening. I'm coming back to you with my report later, and I have promised Toastmaster Colette that this boat on the sea of words is not going to sink. So it's over to you now, Toastmasters, and back to you, Colette.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Next key player is our live reporter. And tonight's live reporter is the Digital Communicators VPE. And she is a VPE extraordinaire. Azra has a poised confidence that is especially unique in how she comes across creatively in her role. She also feels very blessed at the moment because there has been a new addition to her family, a little boy nephew. Please welcome our live reporter, Azra Bibi Muslin.
Welcome all of you to Digital Communicators. My name is Azra Muslin, member of Digital Communicators, your VP, and live reporter for today's session. What does this mean? Well, it entails 3 roles that I have to perform today. Number 1, live coverage on Twitter, The Communicators. This is happening right now. You can like, you can tweet, you can share with social media lovers, Twitter lovers, and that's what makes the difference at Digital Communicators. Over and above this, number 2 will be a video analysis at the end of the session, a 2-minute video analysis. And finally, during the week, there will be a blog which will be posted on our DigitalCom website. Wherever you are, please feel free to follow us, like us, and join us. Azra Muslin, your live reporter for today's session. Back to you, Madam Tiemi.
Thank you very much, Azra. Moving swiftly on, we have our feedback champion, and he is a champion in more ways than one. DTM Julian Sarasada is an author, a workshop facilitator, and the most amazing man at digital technology. And a proud father too. Please welcome Julian Sarasada.
Feedback, feedback, feedback. Synonym, comments, opinions, critique. Why not? Here at Digital Communicators, we love feedback. And for that reason, at the end of the meeting, I'm going to be conducting a 10-minute session where we are going to give feedback to our speakers. But there is more. Keep an eye on the chat, because when the speakers are speaking, you will have to give a short feedback to them as well. Keep an eye on the chat and you will see how cool the technology can be on Zoom.
Thank you very much, Julian. Now, comes to that time of the meeting where we are introducing the first of our speakers. And our first speaker is Mafsur Rahman. Mafsur's project is Mastering Fundamentals from the Effective Coaching Path, Evaluation and Feedback, the second speech. And he has 7 minutes to complete it. Now, I asked Mafsur to give me what he would like to use as a tagline for himself. And he didn't give me one, so I had to make one up. So here's his tagline. Although Mafsur hails from the rugged Canadian Rockies, he is one silky smooth talker. Please welcome the majestic, the mighty, the memorable Mafsur Rahman with a speech entitled Power of Coaching.
One Saturday, the sky grew dark. The air was so wet that you could almost drink it. It has been raining for the last couple of days. One could remember rain like that for years. And if it is the Indian monsoon, yes. I was so fascinated. My elder sister and I sat by the window, watched the rain. Fellow Toastmaster, our guest, and fellow sailors, what would you do in such restless night? Same morning, I was playing soccer with my friends. I'm a soccer fan. The fields were wet, despite slippery, soggy, and the water all over. I could score 1 or 2 goals. The playing conditions changed drastically due to the flash flood and incessant rain. There were no weatherman there. There were no radio. We go by the sky. The sky was clear. That made us to play. There were reports that there was a bass in the neighboring estate that taken away by the fresh flood and increasing rain. We were fortunate even to play. Now, our house situated by the bank of a river that originated from the Himalayas. I enjoyed being close to the river. I grew up paddling boats, welcoming strangers, and the ducks. And I could still remember the people that are paddling, all of their schedules, whether it's the morning, afternoon, or midday. That was kind of life that I had. It was so calm. Now, one of my hobby was to build boats from live banana trees. And I know some of you can imagine. So when I'm talking giant, I'm talking 50 feet and longer. And I used to help people. I used to help people crossing their cattle. And remember, I was only 10 years old. And I was helping people crossing their cattle from one end to the other end of the river. Life was so appealing by the river. The ducks were visiting us almost every morning. I could remember everything that was going at that part of the world. Now, our house Was not big house. We're not very far from the river. We're not very close. We're not in a cliff. Then one night changed everything. That one night, mom forced us to go to bed early. Now, who wants to go to bed early? Not me. I was still going through the window and thinking, is there anybody out there? What's the rain condition? What's the water condition? Now, if you had a better coach, can you imagine who that could be? For me, it was my mom. Mom made us better swimmer. Not only us, even the cats and dogs were swimming with us. It was kind of experience that we're gaining through our childhood. Throughout the night, the tide has risen and carried our home away while I was still in deep sleep. The water gushed through, windows were broken, the doors were broken, and the whole cliff were taken. And next thing, when I woke up, the only thing I could remember is water. Everywhere, the water. So we all climbed the roof for help. Now, mom said one thing, Mafuzur, tie everyone with the bed sheet. And I could tie everyone, my siblings, as quickly as I could, so nobody could get lost with the tide, with the moving house. We all survived, but this was a terrifying experience. Our relative rushed us to the nearest medical camp to treat the hypothermia. By the time I got to know how long we were floating, it was about 7 hours. There were people that needed help. We are okay. My mom said, everything will be okay. Yes, everything is okay. And I'm speaking in front of you. But that moment changed my life, changed the life of my entire family. Yes, we lost the house. We're still okay. Fellow Toastmaster, fellow sailors, what is the defining moment of your life that changed you forever? Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Mafsir. Timer, can we have 1 minute on the clock, please, for the evaluations? Please complete your evaluations.
That's 1 minute, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much.
Colette, you're muted.
Apologies. Thank you very much, Pam. Now we move swiftly on to our second speaker, and our second speaker is the club president, Nick Lacani. Nick is working from the strategic relationships path. He's on level 3, and the project is increasing knowledge, understanding your vocal variety. Now, Nick did give me his tagline. It's show up, learn something new, and have fun doing it. Please welcome the noble, the nurturing, the networker, that is Nick Lacani, with his speech entitled Stepping Up.
Thank you, Colette. Now, those of you who know me know that I'm very understated and I tend to do things on the down low. Today, I'm going to come out of my comfort zone. I'm going to raise my voice. I'm going to make sure that everybody in the bleachers at the back of the stadium are going to hear me today. It's about stepping up. I'm going to tell you 3 things today, and I hope that you take at least one of them with you. The first thing I want to tell you about is our club mission. Secondly, our officer roles, because we have elections coming up soon. And the third thing I'm going to tell you and ask you is, why should you run or why should you join? So let's take it from the start. Club mission. Let's get serious here. We chartered the club this year. After before the first meeting, we had 4 members. 4 of us started it. We just said, hey, 11th of January, let's do it. Julian, Ola, Joseph, and myself. Let's just do it. Let's have fun. What's worse that could happen, right? After the first meeting, we had enough people to charter. Okay, good. One of the things that we keep saying about our club mission is about this idea about accentuating and helping people learn about the online presence. Are you in the frame? Is there something distracting behind you? Is there an open window? Also, the second item that we want to do to help people in this club is to use digital tools. Now, already in the last couple of months, you've seen people, members, using tools that they had not used before. Okay, examples. Pamela, examples are Colette, Pamroli, and others. People are using Prezi and PowerPoint. OBS, OMG. There's so many tools floating around. We need to focus, we need to help each other learn. And that is one of the key things about our club. The third big thing about our club that sets us apart is this idea we can create high-performing teams for high-performance events. Now, you know my background, you know my reputation. People like Julian, other people in this club, we perform, we deliver fantastic world-class events in and out of Toastmasters, by the way. We want to help you develop your skills, not only just in front of the camera, but behind the scenes as well. That is a key aim that we want to go for. In terms of Toastmasters, obviously we want to have world-class speeches and presentations. We have table topics with shotgun evaluations. We have not only prepared evaluations, but also the open feedback at the end as well. So these are things that we really are proud of and we really want to be concerned ourselves with. And in terms of the club vision, tomorrow I'm going to email everybody and send you a link to a page where you can actually have a look at it in more detail. I don't want to take away your attention right now. Second thing I wanted to tell you today is about the elections. Monday, June 14th. I would like you to get in touch with myself or Lois Margolin, who is one of our club mentors, or anybody else on the board, if you would like to run for election. Now, hang on a minute, didn't we have a meeting where we said, well, we're most likely going to run, the same people are going to go the way through. Well, we can't just do that in Toastmasters. I have to submit myself for election to the membership, and so does every other officer. So why don't we do this? Why don't we have a proper election? I don't like one person, one candidate elections. Let's just go for it. Let's just see what happens, right? This is what I want you to do. Have a think about it. If you think that you want to have a go at president, no problem. I want you to run. For VPE, VPPR, all the other roles, I want you to run, because the club will be stronger for it, whatever happens. And it's the will of the club that will see us through. Let me just give you one example about each of these particular roles. President, yes, the president is an ambassador. The president helps, sorts things out, represents the club. The president doesn't decide what is going to happen. That was news to me, by the way, but it happens to be true. I serve my officers, I serve my members, I serve Toastmasters International. The VPE has a team of people to look after the agenda, the education needs, the mentoring, the special events. We just don't want one person, we want a team of people there. So either run for VPE or join the team. The VPM, again, a number of people are actually working in that team. Run for VPM or run for the team. They have very different roles as well. VPPR, again, same thing. Run for the role or run for the team. We have a new role that nobody else has, I believe. Instead of a Sergeant at Arms role, we have the Vice President of Technology. Wow, that's even bigger role than the president. And Mafazor currently has got a team, and he has certain things that he delivers and has to deliver as part of his role. So run for that role, run for the team. We have Treasurer and Secretary as well. They kind of do what normal Toastmasters Club do, but this is the key. Every role here is very different from your bricks and mortar club role that you did last year, the year before, or 5 years ago. In this club, the role is very different. We have a number of countries. We have 10 to 12 countries. We have 5 continents. Time for you to step up. Time for you to join in. Time for you to contribute. The more you put in, you get even more out. June the 14th, I want to see your name on the slate. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nick, can I have 1 minute on the clock, please, for evaluations for Nick, please?
Julian, I can see on the feedback there, does it say Nick needs a haircut?
That's 1 minute, Madam President. You've muted yourself again, Colette.
That has a certain ring to it, doesn't it, Pam? Madam President? Let's move swiftly on. We have our third speaker now, and it's Pamela Benjamin. This club is full of DTMs, and Pamela is another one. Pamela is working from the presentation mastery pathway, and she's on level 1, mastering fundamentals and feedback. Her speech is entitled Surprises. And Pamela's tagline is doing things on the down low. The phenomenal, the proficient, the pragmatic, Pamela Benjamin.
Good afternoon, friends. Hello, digital communicator members. My name's Pamela Benjamin. And life is full of surprises. 10 years ago, I was living in the Midwest. Midwest is up by the Great Lakes here. See that pink person? That's me. That's a pink girl. So I was living in the Chicago area, and our lives took a dramatic turn. We moved down to Texas, and that might not seem very far on that little map, but what happened was I went from a climate that was mostly cold and gray and wet to a climate that was very dry and hot most of the year. It took a while to get used to it. What I found is I, like most Texans, became much more active outside because there were so many more really sunny days. So I was walking, the walking became running, and the running became triathlons. And I thought to myself, I'm going to sign up for a triathlon. So in October of 2019, I signed up for a half triathlon, which is 70.3 miles. I had been preparing for a long time, for several years, and now I was going to give it. I signed up October of 2019. I was supposed to implement it on April of 2020. Then came something called COVID. And then it was changed to November of 2020, and then it was changed to April to 2021. So ladies and gentlemen, I had a year and a half to plan. And being up from the north, I was probably most worried about the swim. You see, the swim would be down here in the Gulf of Mexico. I was used to the Great Lakes up there. The Great Lakes don't have big, huge fish, and they don't have ones that eat you. So I was really thinking about my strategy for dealing with whatever wildlife was living in that bay. So my thoughts for a year and a half centered around a creature similar to this. And my strategy was, I was going to swim in the middle of the pack. I wasn't going to be in the front. I wasn't going to be in the back. I wasn't going to be on the right. I wasn't going to be on the left. I was going to be on the middle of the pack. And that was my strategy. I knew how to swim. I had been swimming all my life. I had swum on a park district team a couple of years ago. So swimming wasn't a problem. The wildlife was a problem. Till I was driving down to Galveston. Where's Galveston, you say? Here's a picture of Texas. And I superimposed the UK on top of it to give you an idea of the distance. So see, here I am on this pink dot, and I drove down here. So it was about a 6-hour drive down to the coast. And this pink dot right here is the Gulf of, is where I was going to be doing the race, down in the Gulf of Mexico. And that bay has these sea creatures in there. I got down there as I was driving south, my 6 hours, I was listening to a podcast. A professional person who was talking about this specific race in Galveston. And he didn't talk about this guy over here. He talked about the piers, P-I-E-R-S, the piers. Now, I thought that was quite strange. And he said, when you're off this race, you have to jump off the pier. I thought, well, how hard could that be? He goes, make sure you get your goggles on super-duper tight because they could flip off. I had never heard a thing. Now I'd swim and I would dive into the water so that my goggles wouldn't flip up. I was used to that. But ladies and gentlemen, when I got to Galveston, this is the pier that I saw. They don't have those kind of piers in the Midwest. I am 5 foot and a few inches. Now, most of you don't understand that because you're used to metrics. But this piling, these little legs here of wood are probably about 3 of me, 2.5 to 3 of me. That's how high this is. And I thought to myself, that creature that swims in the Gulf is the least of my problems. And being in the middle of the pack, oh my God, there's only going to be human carnage on the bottom. I got to be the first one out now. So for 3 days, while I was down there getting used to the water and the whole atmosphere, I thought, how am I going to jump off that pier and keep my goggles on? I no longer cared about the fish. I cared about my goggles. So for 3 days, I thought about, I can't do it. I can't jump on another person. I just can't do it. I almost drove home. Well, the day came. We stood in a long line and got ready to jump off the pier. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what the pier looked like. I jumped about this far, about a foot, maybe a little bit more, off the pier. I think when you're on a podcast saying you're going to jump off the pier, you should really give a size of the jump that the people are going to have to do, so they don't freak out before their race. Well, I had it all covered. Everything was going to be smooth after this one. Yep, after this. See, ladies and gentlemen, here's the map of where I swam. This area is where I jumped in. I came down. It was very easy. But then I had to start going up, 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 up. But what I didn't think about was the strength of the current coming at me. See, I'm a good swimmer. I swim better than a lot of other people. But what I didn't really understand was when you are in the Gulf or a bay, there are incredibly much larger currents than you would find in the Great Lakes. And I'm a pool swimmer. The distance of this is about 1,500 yards. The entire distance is 2,200 yards. So over 3/4 of the swim was it going directly into the energy of that water coming at me. And once I got about to the middle of it, I was really having a hard time keeping my breath under control because I was so anxious. I went to a canoe, a person that helps us. This is what it looks like. This would be what the canoe person looks like. And what you can do is put your hand on the canoe. So I put my hand on the canoe and I was trying to get my breath regulated so I could finish the swim. And I was really doubting myself. I was really thinking, oh, why was I worried about the pier and the fish when I should have been worried about the current? And the man in the canoe said, ma'am, what's your name? I thought, oh, I don't want to tell you my name. Just shh. I go, I'm just going to be here for a minute. Shh, don't just pretend I'm not here. Ma'am, what's your name? Pamela. I'm thinking to myself, do I have to fill out a form? But I thought, okay, keep the sarcasm to a minimum. Just keep holding on there. He goes, Pamela, my name's Brian. And I'm like, hi, Brian. And he said, Pamela, I know you're going to do it. I know you're going to get to the end. I said, Brian, do you see those waves? Do you see all those people struggling? Oh, I know you can do it. Then I thought to myself, Brian thinks I can do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I started paddling and I started paddling and I started paddling. And I want you to know that Brian made a difference in my life. Just when you think you can't do something, you find a surprise. After all those other little surprises in my life, Brian was a surprise. And I finished it and I got the medal.
Thank you, Pamela.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Pamela. Pam, can I have 1 minute, please, for evaluations?
That's 1 minute, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Pam. Would you give us the times of the speeches, please?
I sure will. So Matthew spoke for 6 minutes and 27 seconds. Nick spoke for 7 minutes and 20 seconds. And Pamela spoke for 8 minutes and 29 seconds.
Thank you very much, Pam. Now, I think it's time for us to have some table topics, or would you like to do evaluations next? Nick, what would you prefer?
Yeah, table topics is great.
Table topics. So I'm going to hand you over to the one and only Hazel Gomes. Hazel's talents, apart from her Toastmaster talents, she is a professional singer. And we are now going to be challenged and entertained by Hazel.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. As your topics master today, I'll be asking you questions whereby you will be allowed to speak for up to 2 minutes. Additionally, I will call on someone to give feedback to your response. Here at Digital Communicators, we call this shotgun evaluations. For this, you are allowed up to 1 minute. So listen and pay close attention. You never know. It might be your turn to answer. Are you ready? Okay. Close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes. Do you hear the gentle lapping of the waves? Feel the soft sand between your toes whilst you are sitting under the waving palm trees. Open your eyes. You're on vacation. You're in Curacao. Welcome to Curacao, the first stop on your vacation. We will have some fun. I'm going to give you a much needed break today. Trust me, we all need a break. Now, this is a picture of the beach at Little Curacao called Klein Curacao, an island a distance away from Curacao, only reached by boat. Look at the couple enjoying each other's company. If you want to get away from the rat race, with whom would you go? And this question goes for Andrew Morgan.
Thank you, Hazel. Who would I take to on a holiday? Possibly even to a beautiful island like this? Well, obviously the answer I'd like to give is my girlfriend, but I don't have a girlfriend at the moment. So clearly that's a problem. So maybe I should really be focusing, before I think about where to go on holiday, I need a strategy for finding the perfect person to accompany me. But if I didn't find a girlfriend, who else can I bring with me? Well, I could bring one of my children. They're both getting older, so they're sort of fun. But do you really want to take kids with you on holiday? They can get in the way a bit. I think the answer is this. And obviously, if I look around the room today, I can see lots of beautiful Toastmasters that I could possibly invite with me on holiday as well. But I have a plan. My plan is that I will go to this beautiful holiday vacation center on my own, and there I will search for the perfect girlfriend. That is my answer. So I will go on holiday on my own, but I will find true love in Curacao. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Andrew. That was funny. We'll speak about that afterwards. I'll help you out with that, maybe. I'm actually here. Okay, our next question.
Would you like to ask for a shotgun evaluation?
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. How could I? You didn't read it, right? Okay, our shotgun evaluation, let's see, goes to Ken. Can you? Where is Can you? Okay. Paul Greenway. Okay, I'm going back to Iju. Can you give an evaluation on Andrew's speech, please?
Absolutely, yes. First of all, well done, Andrew, for your speech. It was great and funny at the same time. So you had a great introduction. And yeah, your speech was, your hand gesture especially, I really liked it. The only thing that I want to recommend is eye contact. So next time, if you can look at the camera and avoid, to look everywhere apart, in front of you. But yeah, overall, you did a great speech. So well done. And another thing, your laptop, if you can put it, at the same level of your head, because you were a little bit, on top of it, but it's just a small thing. Thank you. Back to you, Hazel.
Thank you, Ishu. Considering we went through a few, you did very well, I must say. Okay, the next question. Now then, if you had a choice to go on vacation right now, like in pre-pandemic times, which is everybody's wish, where would you go? And this question is for Angela Cook.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster, or Table Topics Master. I am definitely a traveler, and during pandemic, I am anxious and grouchy and all the many things. So I'm so happy for you to give me this opportunity to travel. And I know exactly where I will go. I will go to Mérida in Mexico. It is my favorite city in the entire world, and I have traveled the entire world. I love the culture of the Mayans. I climb, I visit all of the ruins many, many times, especially each year on my birthday, which I've missed the last 2 birthdays. So I will be climbing, perhaps at Coba, perhaps at Chichen, and I will be enjoying the nightlife of Mérida with the folk dancing and their music and their wonderful food, while I stay in a beautiful patio type hotel and swim on the beaches of Progreso. Thank you so very much for this opportunity. I love it.
Thank you, Angela. So now it's time for the pew. Let's see who I'm going to shoot. Paul, is Paul there?
Maybe pick someone with the camera on.
Yes. Okay, then it's going to be you guys. Mr. Pat Caslin.
Thank you, Madam Topics Evaluator Hazel. This seems to be all about going on holidays. Angela, I want to go. I want to go with you because that seems like a fantastic place to be. Your description and your enthusiasm for it, and the fact that you said that you traveled the entire world, gave it a lot of weight to the love that you had for the place. I didn't catch the name of it because I wasn't familiar with it, but your lovely smile, your sense of warmth about it, your sense of love for the place, and your sense of, I've been other places too, gave your message a really, really strong endorsement that we could all said, yes, I want to go there too, please. Now you are vying with Hazel for Curacao, so I'm not sure where else we're going to get to tonight, but congratulations, Angela, and well done.
Great, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, what a thorough evaluation, Mr. Pat Caslin. Do I have any more time?
You've got time for one more.
One more question. Okay. Now, when on holiday, which of these is your preference? Do you like to visit a museum? Maybe go to a concert of your favorite artist, a special gourmet dinner, or something else? Okay, let's ask our guest, Shanine Gill.
Thank you, Madam Topics Master. When on holiday, would I prefer to go to a museum, a concert of my favorite artist, or a special banquet? Well, I'm one of those crazy people for two reasons. One, I don't like traveling from home. I'm a homebody and I don't very often go on holiday anywhere. But when I do, it's for a long weekend, camping with crazy people called LARPers, which is live action role play. So when I go on holiday, I prefer to do something else, which is interact in a fantasy setting with thousands of crazy people just like myself. And it's fantastic because you switch off the whole world, switch off the cameras, switch off the phones, no radios, no TV, no nothing for 4 days, just totally detox and let your imagination run wild. And it is absolutely fantastic and re-energizing. So yes, unlike you normal people, I don't travel and I don't go to museums, concerts and or special banquets when I'm on holiday. I go and meet my tribe in a field just outside Silverstone Raceway. Thank you.
Thank you, Shanine. Wow. It doesn't sound like a bad idea to detox at all. I think these days we need to detox. Yes. Okay, do we have time for one shotgun evaluation? Okay. Let's see. Let me ask. Yes, Julian, it's you.
Come on,
Yes.
you were thinking
Yes,
of me.
it's you.
Shanine, I have to congratulate. You have a really nice voice. Love it. Love it. Seriously. Also, I have to tell you that it's fine. You share something with us and it's good. However, one thing I want you to take into account is the filler words. Couple of there, here and there. And also, I was wondering whether you could have presented your speech in a more positive way. When you say no, 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 constantly, it can be a bit downside, no? Maybe you say, there is nothing more exciting than being here at home. There are a lot of things to do. I think that will have come more positive, more energetic, and more happier.
Thank you, Toastmaster Julian. I would pass the word back to our Toastmaster of the day, Colette.
Thank you very much, Hazel, for your wonderful table topics. And now we come to the time in the meeting where we give our evaluations to the speakers. And our first evaluator tonight, evaluating Mafsur Rahman, is Pat Caslin. Now, Pat is a very experienced speaker from Dublin, and he has been in Toastmasters since 2018. And just this very week, he is the second place champion in the District 71 Final International Speech Contest. Welcome, Pat Caslin.
Thank you, my fellow Dubliner, Ms. Ainscough. So I'm delighted actually to evaluate Mafizur's speech again, because I evaluated the last time, and afterwards we did a little bit of work on the on looking at what should be in the story. And I have to say that Mafizur really got this and took this on and did a fantastic job of drawing us in to the 10-year-old child's view of what it's like to live by a river where it rains with siblings, to play football, to not have any sense of the danger, to have no feeling about what's going on, and to get into bed early and wake up 7 hours down the river later. I lived that story. I was that child. I was there in an incredulous way, because it's not an experience that I think any of us had or probably will have or want to have. But it spoke to us in a really, really lovely way and really, really powerfully. And I was there with you, Mafizur, so I thought that was fantastic. The elements of story that are important you gave us context, who, what, where, and when. So we knew where you were living by the river, you had your family, you were playing football with your friends. The tension came into it when there was a foreboding of rain in the background, but you hadn't realized it. So we're wondering what's going to happen here. And you built that tension over your mother saying to you, go to bed, just go to bed. You're looking out the window, you're wondering what's happened. And you've mentioned the rain, but there's no sense that the rain is actually going to float your house away. And that was a really, really good building up of tension. There was the action then, and we were good swimmers, and the cats and the dogs and everybody swam. So context, action was fantastic. I would give you maybe a couple of recommendations on this, Mafsir. And the first one would be that maybe try and you lived this. I felt that you were reading it, and I wonder if you just spoke it as you remember it, would it be a more powerful story for remembering it? Let it come from the heart and let it come from the soul and the memory rather than from the page. And I just wonder, would it flow more? Would it be even more convincing? The other point that I would suggest is maybe draw us into the big conclusion on this. You mentioned your mother was your best mentor, and I think there was an opportunity to talk about your mother's calm, that her children were all sleeping, probably well, not underwater obviously, but they were all sleeping in a house that was floating down a river, and she kept them sleeping. And then when you woke up, said, tie them all up. It's an incredible story. And I think if you draw out the qualities of calm that your mother had and said, this is what somebody who's truly calm under pressure, and made that point, and this is something that I want to be, and draw that out, I think you could have had a phenomenally powerful speech. But great job, Mafisur. Wonderful storytelling. Do keep this up. And do come back soon again, because I'd love to hear another one of your speeches.
Thank you very much, Pat. Next up, we have Antonia Hernandez, who is going to evaluate Nick Lacani. Now, Antonia is the newest member of Digital Communicators, and she describes herself as being unusually normal. I think she's very humble. She is a huge asset to this club. Please welcome Antonia.
Thanks, Madam Toastmaster. Dear Toastmaster, welcome guests, and especially Nick. Under my point of view, you have succeeded with the objective of this project, that is, use vocal variety to enhance the speech with your speech stepping up. And now I'd like to evaluate the speech and not the speaker, because in Toastmasters, we don't evaluate speakers, we evaluate speeches. You excelled at giving an effective volume, what gave a good and vibrant projection. Your pitch was low, but this is normal, because normally women will have a higher pitch and men have a lower. The quality of your voice was comfortable and engaging, your articulation was clear, and your pronunciation was perfect. The timing was fluent, and your gestures, under my point of view, were magnificent. They were very well done, very well coordinated. And your eye contact, you look through the lens all the time. Furthermore, you also achieved to communicate emotion, and not perhaps in a very theatrical way, but rather by giving the content and making pauses. And this is very intelligent done, because in that way, we keep our naturalness. At the same time, you also showed humor. For example, when you said OBS or OMG, I like it very much. But there are things that we can improve. They are the lessons to learn. Under my point of view, what you could do is to avoid reading. It was more done at the beginning. At the same time, perhaps take into account the props. For example, I did not understand so much what was the context of the sunglasses. Perhaps if you could have coordinated with the background, like for example, you could have written mission possible. I think that could have worked very well. All in all, a very well delivered speech. You used the rule of the three, speaking about the club mission, about the elections, and about people to join. And at the end, there was also a conclusion, there was a call for action, and I like very much the run for the role and run for the team. At the end, you show not only that you are a very well speaker, but also a magnificent leader. And back to you.
Thank you very much, Antonia. And our final evaluator this evening of the speeches is from the Canary Islands. She is Marcano. Now, Mar was on the winning debate team for digital communicators against Manchester Communicators recently, and she is presenting a workshop at the VidCon for digital communicators on Prezi, not to be missed. Please welcome evaluating Pamela Benjamin, Marcano.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster of the day, Colette. Let me start by congratulating DTM Pamela Benjamin. Pamela, what an amazing, awesome, fascinating speech. When you think that you can't hear another great speech by Pamela Benjamin again, or once again, you get it. So thank you very much for that gift that it's always, that you always give us with your speeches. And of course, the introduction of the digital technology within your speech. Let me tell you about that. I'd like to highlight things and aspects that you really excelled at, including using Zoom. If I'm not wrong, I would say you used Zoom and you immersed within your slide. I think you did it brilliantly. You chose your images mindfully. You had the whole image, in your virtual background behind, and we could see you there. So I would love to congratulate you for that excellent use of a new and different digital tool here. So thank you for that. Second thing I would like to highlight, you created, you used a lot of drama. Yeah, this is one of the things you mentioned when we had this connection to see, Pamela, what would you like me to focus on? Drama. So your dramatic expression in front of the screen was amazing. Congratulations for that too. And finally, something else I would like to congratulate you on is about your gestures. Up, up, up. Yeah, and you jumped and left and right and up and down. So your gestures, I have to say that we could see them very well because you were placed, very well on the screen. So that was really, really great. What's next then? Things that maybe it was hard to find things, or areas of growth. Yeah, I was thinking, what could Pamela work harder on to even, give and deliver even more, greater speeches. So one of the things that I would like to mention is speed and pauses. What if you try, so you were great to fasten and to speak very, very fast at some points. Could you try to slow down at some specific parts of your speech? to create that suspense that you wanted to achieve. That would be one suggestion. Second recommendation, something else that you could think of could be, vocal variety. Why not bringing Brian here with us? Not running, not swimming, not walking, but with your voice, the power of your voice. So we could have here, just Brian telling you those words that encourage you to get to the end of the race. And finally, just let me get to the end. I would like to challenge you with that exploration of the digital tech tools, so you can be placed on the right side and you don't have to move a lot, around one place or another. Once said that, congratulations, Pam. I would like to tell you that when you get the whole of the speech and the whole feedback, we can't wait to hear your next speech. And I can't wait to see that speech with all that feedback implemented. Thank you. Back to you. Hello.
Thank you very much, Mar. Can I call on the timer, please, to give us the report on the table topics and evaluations, please, Pam?
You sure can. So for the table topics, Andrew, I nearly forgot to time because I was thinking how I could convince him to take me on holiday with him. But Andrew spoke about his holiday for 1 minute and 12. Angela spoke about Mexico for 1 minute and 24. And Shanine spoke about role playing at Silverstone for 1 minute and 23. For the evaluations, the time of the evaluations, Pat spoke for 3 minutes and 25. Antonia was 3 minutes and 1. And Mar was 4 minutes. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Pamela. Timer. Now I'd like to call on our grammarian, please, to give his report. Andrew.
Toastmasters, this is your interactive grammarian on the sea of words. I want you all to unmute. First step, we're all going to unmute because you are going to join in with Andrew as we grammatically review this meeting. I'm going to give you some phrases that I heard, and I want to see who the first one person is to tell me who said that in the meeting. So we heard that Marfazur was a silky smooth talker. Who said that this evening, please?
Colette.
Colette did indeed. And Colette also gave us the mighty and masterful, which was beautiful alliteration. Mighty and masterful. Excellent. Who is it that creates high-performing teams for high-performance events?
Nick.
Nick, exactly. He said that. Nice sequence. High-performing teams for high-performance events. You see, you were listening as well as me. It's not just the grammarian that has to listen, it's all of us. That's why we're doing it this way. Somebody was anxious and grouchy until they went to see the Mayans. Who was that? Table topic, that one.
Angela.
Angela, thank you. Angela, great choice of words. I was looking for exciting language tonight and I got it in spadefuls on this wonderful sea of words that we're on. Splendid work. Now, somebody wanted to be not to the right of the pack or the left of the pack, but in the middle of the pack. Who gave us that sequence, please?
Pamela.
Pamela. And she also gave us goggles that was super-duper tight. Now, I don't know if super-duper is in the dictionary, but I love it. More of the super-duper, please. I love it, love it, love it. Who gave us gentle lapping waves and waving palm trees?
Hazel.
Hazel did indeed. Well done to Hazel. Another beautiful use of descriptive language. Things for us to look out for in the meeting, little things to correct. I'm a little worried about connecting words. Now, so, they pull the phrase down. They pull the intonation down. Instead of now, I was saying, why not just I was saying? Instead of so, I was saying, why not I was saying? It's just a question of not dragging down the sentence as we started out. Those connecting words, do we really need them? I'm leaving that to you to decide. And the other one was you know, which I heard from at least 3 people this evening. Well, it's all well and good saying you know, but what if they don't know? Come on, let's join together and banish you know, which is a filler word or filler term par excellence. beautiful language this evening. Very thrilled by the quality of this meeting and all of your efforts. And indeed, Pat Castin gets a special rosette from me this evening because he has Dennis the Menace as his background, and that inspires language too. So great work to you all. Well done, everybody, and back to Colette for the rest of the meeting.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I'd now like to call on Julian for our open feedback session, please.
Would you agree with me that sharing your opinion about someone's speech is synonym of caring about that speaker? And that's what we are going to do now. We are going to have 9 minutes, 1 minute and a half for commentations for the first speaker, 1 minute and a half for recommendations for the first speaker, for the second, for the third. And what you're going to see as well in my screen is the feedback you guys wrote while they spoke or before they were spoke. And if you have not done it, please make sure that you write the feedback for those speakers, because this is the basis of Toastmasters and this is the basis of digital communicators. So let's start with 1 minute and a half of commentations for our first speaker, that was Mafasur. So if someone wants to share something positive about first speaker's speech, please raise your hand and I will call you to share it with the audience. Andrew, I see that you want to say something. Go ahead. What would you comment about the first speaker, Mafasur's speech? I think, Andrew, are you there?
Which Andrew?
Andrew Morgan, sorry, Andrew Morgan.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't actually waving.
Okay, well, that's not a problem. Tell us something positive, something that you really like about Mafasur's speech.
I just loved the story. I mean, it was such a compelling story, and I think that some of the words you could really picture yourself in the moment of the rain pouring down and that moment of crisis.
Anyone else wants to share some commentation for Mafasur?
Yes, please, Julian. I just
Pamela.
think it was so moving, the speech, and it was inspirational, because what it did was it made you think of something that happens to you that does define you. And that's what Mafasur excelled at there in that speech. He made me think about what would define me.
Thank you, Colette. Pamela, I think you wanted to say something.
I really took away what he feels and thought about his mother. I think in retrospect, as an adult, he thought about that water going through his house. But at the time, tying up all the family members and staying close together, he trusted his mother so much. It really touched my heart when he talked about his mother and what a coach she was, and not to be afraid. And it really never entered his mind as a child that something was going to go wrong because his mother was in charge. So as a mom, I really, that touched my heart, and it meant a lot to hear that story.
Thank you much, Pamela. Now we are going to move for 1 minute and a half for recommendations. And here somebody says something on the feedback that you can see on my screen. Somebody says something about your eye contact, that you did not connect through the camera. Who would like to share as well any other recommendation for Mafasur? Don't be shy. Was his speech perfect? If we don't tell him what he can improve, he will stop coming here. What for? Yeah. Nick, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think that Mafasur needs to just step out of his comfort zone more and just speak more. That's it. Just in whatever he does, speak more. He already has the authority that we give him, that we see in him. And I would just say, just rise with that authority, and you will become even more confident and more comfortable in that role.
I would personally also recommend Mafasur to give some more vocal variety. I mean, it cannot be that you wake up 7 miles down the river and you are in the same voice that you were 7 miles up the river. Anyway, let's move to our second speaker, who was Nick Lacani. So as you can see here on the screen, people wrote feedback. If you have not written feedback for Nick Lacani, please go on the chat to the link and write it now. But Pamela, give us 90 seconds now to praise or to comment what Nick Lacani has done right. Any volunteer? Pamela or Mafasur? Okay, let's start with Mafasur.
I think one thing that Nick did very well, setting the agenda for the incoming team. No matter Nick stays on or Nick is not here, the show must go on. And there are clubs that lives without Nick. There are clubs that excels without Nick. Nick is there, and Nick is not there for us forever. So I believe that agenda has been called out pretty loud. And it's for us to perform and bring that innovation, bring that performance with us. And that call to action was very much clear to me. Definitely, I go in a lot of different business meetings. I never seen that call to action so much clear and so precisely. And I take that call to action. Thank you, Nick.
Pamela Benjamin, you have left a really nice comment on the chat. What would you highlight about Nick's Lacani speech?
I think Nick is an incredible leader, and he painted a really big picture for us all. And I think when we hear him speak of some of these things, we get a little afraid. So I like it when he breaks things down for us, just keeps breaking it down and painting the picture. So that's what I really like, how he takes these big, huge goals and dreams and he breaks them down and just says, we can do it. We can do it. He's not in the canoe, but he's here with us saying we can do it.
Fantastic. So let's move to the co-recommendations. Who would like to recommend something about his speech? Don't be afraid. Don't be shy. Okay, I will start. Nick Lacani, I thought that despite the evaluator told you that you had a really good eye contact, you didn't, especially at the beginning. You were looking or reading, we don't know, but you were looking away from the camera. And I thought that it was a clear example how to break the trust with your audience. Marcano.
Yeah, I'd like to encourage Nick to stand up when he delivers a speech. Yeah, sometimes we know that the spaces we have are not the best ones, but I think that this speech, standing up there in front of the screen and looking directly into the camera, would have been much more powerful.
Anyone else? Anyone else? Last one. Don't be shy. Don't be afraid. He's the president, but maybe not for long. No? Okay, let's move to our third speaker, Pamela Benjamin. All right. 1 minute and a half for commentations. Who wants to start? Nobody? I mean, I have, okay, Kavita, go for it.
What I really liked about this speech, there was a lot of picture painting because I felt like I was there with her on the pier, and then I felt a relief when she said the pier was like only this big. So I throughout there was good picture painting, and you were with her on the journey everywhere.
Absolutely. Nick Lacani.
Yeah, I think I agree with the evaluator. The drama was there. And what Pamela does is when she tells stories, she's in her element because she can describe, she can make us not only see, but feel. Thank you.
Anyone else? Well, I will have to say that the visual aids were simply outstanding. It helped a lot to engage with the audience and to keep them on their toes. Congratulations. Marcano, last one.
Yeah, I would like to share something that I forgot to say before, but Pamela, I think it was great to bring and show your medal, your real medal, you know, at the end of the speech. Actually, this is one of the things that we should bring, especially when we are in contest. That's one of the things that, you know, judges have to value. Are the speakers bring in some props, some real objects into the screen, you know, into their speech. So I think that made it really nice. It was a pity that we couldn't see it very clearly because, you know, because of the virtual background. But I think that was, yeah, that's it. That was really, really wise to bring it here, to show it and to say, yeah, I did.
Fantastic. What about the recommendations? Another 90 seconds. Who has any recommendation? Andrew Morgan, the first one, all yours.
Yeah, quick one on the prop. So the prop needs to start to the side, then sort of magically appear in front of you and then drop away. So stay there for a couple of seconds and then drop. So it's very powerful, very clear. We can see what it is and then it disappears and we're not distracted by it. So prop and drop, but a brilliant prop. Well done.
Who else? Nick Lacani.
I think the timing, make the story tighter. You make your point and then move on, and ask for the verbal cues from the timer. It's a wonderful story. Tighten it up. You have got possibly a contest-winning speech there.
All right, fantastic. Thank you much, Nick. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the 9 minutes, 10 minutes open feedback session. If you have not written any feedback to any of the speakers, please don't be afraid. Use the links. If you don't use it, why are we doing this? Back to you.
Thank you very much, Julian. I'd now like to call on our general evaluator, who is Andrew Morgan. And Andrew said that he heard some very good things about the club and how we have innovative style. And I'd like to welcome him, please, to give us a general evaluation. Over to you, Andrew.
Thank you. And I was told, under no uncertain circumstances, told to be quick. So I'm going to be very quick today. I love the website, very clear before coming to the meeting. Very warm welcome, and it's nice to see some familiar faces. I felt very welcomed as a guest. Very quickly, Nick, I like the opening. One tip, Nick ran over by 5 minutes in terms of the introduction against the agenda, so a little bit less interactive. Stick to the timing there, Nick. I love the
pop star. I had a pop star.
I love the producer telling us how to join, but it would be nice to have known why to join Digital Communicators. Of course, I've now been in the meeting, so I know. Toastmaster Colette, I love the word cloud behind, very innovative. And I like the introduction, the alliterative introduction. So it was noble networking, Nick. One quick tip. Just check on the agenda. You don't need to check in with Nick about something. Just if the agenda says it's table topics, it's table topics. You're in charge. You don't need Nick. Our timer. I love the simple approach. Just keeping it simple. Timings are 5 to 7. These are the colors, and you're going to get cut off if you run over, as I'm about to be in a second, I think. One recommendation: have a background behind which says timer, rather than the bricks, so that if someone's looking for the timer at the start to keep an eye on, we can see the timer. Grammarian Andrew, a wonderful grammarian as ever. I love the examples of synonyms that Andrew gave us at the beginning. The only recommendation would be, how do you demonstrate a synonym in a speech? And I love the Hulkmaster style evaluation at the end, calling out and asking us to remember who used these terms. The open feedback session, I love the open feedback. One recommendation would be to encourage people to be short and perhaps even get people to just shout it out. People seem to be a little bit reluctant. Hazel, our topics master. I like the way that Hazel introduced with the lapping waves and telling us it was going to be a shotgun evaluation. Recommendation for Hazel is to encourage people to turn on their cameras and then during the speech, pick out who's on screen, who hasn't got a role, so that you're ready. You don't have that few seconds of looking around. You just pick, Pat is going to be next. But no, great session, great topic. I'm going to jump to evaluators. I love Pat's evaluation. I loved how Pat told and analyzed and talked about the context of the story. And I love the terminology he used. We felt that we were there. He felt that maybe the speech was read out, and he wondered if a different style, less rehearsed, would be more powerful. Beautiful way of describing this. Now, of course, a perfect ending, come back with another story. Antonia, very detailed analysis. Good recommendation about the sunglasses, like what was the point? It'd be good to see some more examples of how Nick was using these things in the speech. So Nick's gestures were good. Which gesture? When did he use them? What was powerful? A really good example when Antonia did this, when she said, OBS, OMG, the use of humor, that was really clear. We got it. We knew what Antonia meant there. Antonia reminded us, we're evaluating the speech, not the speaker. I'd also recommend perhaps not using you, just using the name of the speaker rather than you, because it's a little less personal. Mar, brilliant evaluation. I loved the use of the background and the thinking. So you were thinking, the thinking pose and the background. It worked very well. And the way that it was sort of described, you can be really fast, you can be really fast. Slow it down. Again, very, very clear. We saw the example. Only recommendation, it felt a little bit like sometimes Mert got stuck trying to find the next Zoom background. So either rehearse it better or just don't worry about the Zoom being quite so clever with the Zoom. Overall, I thought it was a great meeting, really good use of different types of technology. I have a couple of other suggestions I will ping to Nick, but I'm looking at the clock, it's 8:01. I will hand back rather than taking any more of your time.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And now I'd like to hand the meeting back over to the President, Nick Lacani, please.
Thank you very much to Toastmaster Colette and all the role players, all the speakers, everybody. What a great meeting. I started off today introducing a pop star to you. And what I'm going to say to you is you are the rock stars of this club. Go and sign up and go run for election on June the 14th. Next Monday, we have a joint meeting on the 31st of May with our sister club, Manchester Communicators. And who knows what kind of fun we've got in store there. So just take a role, show up, and come and have some fun. We also have other things in play, the VTM Con, the Virtual Toastmaster Conference, and there will be a room open after the show where you can go in and get some more information to volunteer and find out more about it. Also, we'll have our usual prepared speakers going into breakout rooms and our membership room as well. It falls on me right now to close the meeting. Thank you very much. See you next Monday on the 31st.